Naruto 585. Okay, okay, before we get into this, let's go ahead. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Blood Prison movie, real short. Um, the movies aren't canon. Anybody that's seen the movies before, the first four movies, you kind of have an idea that they're not really canon. They're fan service. They're really just for fun. Sometimes you get to see different characters do different things, but it's not part of the it's not really part of the storyline in any way. Okay, and this is of course no exception. Blood Prison is an exception at all, and it's kind of, I thought the beginning was kind of slow. It is what it is. It's okay. I think some of the previous movies were better, to be perfectly honest, but it's okay, and it's out there and it's available. So, but anyway, if you've already seen the previous movies, you already know that. If you don't, check them out. Actually, this one's okay, and there's actually some of the other ones are pretty good. So, moving on from that. Okay, now I went back. I'm going to jump around a bit as I always do, and I want to start this off by going back to 581. Okay, and because there's a couple little things here that need to be stated for us to get an idea, or to even get our theories about what's going on. Okay, Itachi says in 581 that Izunami, it's not Izanagi, it's another one that forms a pair. So evidently, Izanagi and Izunami work together, and as has been discussed before, that was the god and the goddess of Japan that created the islands, and fire god, and quite a few other things, and a lot of, actually, the names for a lot of the abilities are from those islands and deities. So there's the mythology that you're, or at least part of it that you're dealing with. That's where it comes from. So he says it's already prepared, and then in 585 there's a part where he's like, well, I'm kind of like I'm working on it, but so it's already been prepared. So a lot of people are like, well, is it already? Is Kabuto already in it? And is Kabuto the target? Is Sasuke? It's pretty much Kabuto seems to be the target, and still in 581. And isn't it's that Izanagi is a jujitsu that can change destiny, and of course we have issues with the translations. But anyway, uh, Izanami can decide it. Okay, and so then they go into the battle, and let's get back here because there was something I wanted to do. Um, so it's going to be, there was something in here, and I'm not seeing it right now, that basically was basically made it really sound like this was specifically aimed at Kabuto. So moving past that point. So anyway, so it's more than likely, I don't know if your prediction or just a judgment call, that it's definitely, in my opinion, it's already happening. Back in 581, he said it was ready. Okay, Itachi said it was ready. So I'm sure that they're already in it, and as things are going out now, this is going to be when this plays out, as you can tell, something that really the pairing. I think maybe. I mean, you saw how powerful one is in order to have them both together. So this is going to create a new reality. And from everything that's been shown so far, Kabuto keeps adding things to himself. Which there was an actor that did an interview. I want to get into a whole side issue here, so I'll make this very quick. That was basically saying there was some kind of part of Buddhist philosophy, which would get us back to this, that was basically the idea is you don't want to add things to yourself, you want to take away. An example that was given is, say someone has emotional problems, or they have some issues, or they're missing something, and they would add alcohol or drugs, or they would add other things to try to mask the problems that they had, which in reality just create more problems. I'm not trying to be preachy here. I'm just throwing out a little bit of the philosophy, trying to understand. So, and the reason I'm saying this is because Kabuto keeps adding things. He's talked about. He's had this issue. He doesn't know who he is, and he keeps adding parts of other people to himself, which really isn't helping him to get to who he is. Okay, and that is okay. Like I said, this not being preachy on this or anything, or overly philosophical, I don't think, but this is what seems to be happening here in the manga. This is what Kishimoto seems to be aiming at. So one part of what looks like what's going to happen is simply, and it looks like maybe the central goal is to strip away everything that isn't Kabuto, so that he is actually who he is. And we have to admit, this has been hammered over and over and over. Your true self, him trying to find out who he really is. So that looks like what. Now, how is that going to affect, basically, the spell that he has going on at the moment? Is it going to completely undo it? Is it, and is part of this, deciding a future? Is that going to, I'm still holding out hope for, to Itachi to have some, even if he could maintain this form, it would be interesting. Of course, I don't know if he would want to be like this forever. That may not be something he would want to do. But anyhow, so so I've gone from what I feel pretty confident about. He's going to be stripped down to himself, and then of course we'll see what Kishimoto wants to do from that point on. This was, in my opinion, a pretty good. It was a good chapter if you look in context of everything else. Also, of course, it's interesting that he brought out basically that. Let's say not a SEAL team, but he brought out the 4 members that captured Sasuke, a barrier team. Yeah, the barrier team that Orochimaru had created, and even we got to see Orochimaru come out of them. And I don't know if I get the name, Kimimaro. He probably not getting the name correct, but you saw it, and even his aspect came out to create that flute for the other character. So pretty interesting. He's got a lot of stuff floating in him, but Kabuto's definitely not. I was really shocked to see even a minor aspect of Orochimaru come out without some kind of power play or something or whatever. But he's in there. But I guess he's in there in a minor role. But of course, as everybody wants, something I've definitely seen, not just from discussing with people watching my videos, but watching other people's videos, and there is if the fan base has anything to do with it, we're going to see Orochimaru coming back. There's just no way. And even the storylines and everything, there's so much Orochimaru, not the fans, the story. To me, everything dictates that Orochimaru's got to come back. And of course, I'm one of the people that really would like to see that. It would be phenomenal. What a horrible villain. Actually, he was a great villain. Let's be honest. He's one of the truly great villains. So this was a very good chapter. There was quite a few other little things in here, but I think I've kind of got to the main part. It was a lot of fun watching the two, the two brothers working, Itachi and Sasuke working together. That's always interesting. Of course, there's not. Well, I'm sitting here thinking I've already covered things in other videos. It still is wild. Wow, Orochimaru popping out. And he's in the form that he pops out in. He's in the form where he tried to, where he tries to assimilate other characters to get their body. The one where Sasuke fought and killed him, and it was that aspect, of course, that came out. And then, he even actually went into the regular Orochimaru looking aspect. That's a lot. It's a lot popping out of you. It doesn't look. It doesn't look too healthy. But anyway. That is going to be it. It was a great chapter. I appreciate all my subscribers. Thank you very much. If you want to give it a thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. That would be very nice of you. If you want to subscribe, you can unsubscribe or unsubscribe. You can do anything you want. And until next time, take care.